Good afternoon and welcome to the Takeaways podcast. On today's episode, we are talking about how does a bank do a rebrand. And I'm with Lucia Malapane, who is the head of brand marketing at GoTyme, which used to be TymeBank, of course. She's going to take us through the process of why the bank decided to do a rebrand, what it means for it as it tries to compete against South Africa and globally, and just share more on the entire process. Hi, welcome to the Takeaways podcast.
Thanks for inviting me, Ephraim.
It's a huge pleasure to have you here. I'm going to get straight into it, right? Why did TymeBank decide to rebrand to GoTyme, and how has that process been going so far?
So I mean, we started as TymeBank, as you know, and now we've rebranded to GoTyme, and that the reason behind the rebrand is definitely part of our journey, right? Because it signals that we're growing, we're evolving as a brand, and we're standing for something a lot bigger, right? We're now a multi-bank country, or rather, we're a multi-country bank, rather, and it's important that this change signals that. It shows that as a bank that started here in SA about 6-7 years ago, we are now graduating and evolving into a much bigger bank and a much bigger business. And I don't think we'd be able to demonstrate that change without actually changing what we look like.
I want you to take me through the process, right? In terms of the conversations around the rebrand, when did these conversations start? And, from where those conversations started to the, execution of the rebrand, how was that, entire process in the middle?
Yeah, so it's been quite a lengthy and complex process. I think a lot of people you wouldn't necessarily think there's so many layers to rebrand, right? I think most people kind of see a rebrand as, oh, they look different, but it was quite a process that took into account that we needed to change our systems. We needed to get people also excited about the change and to relate to this new change, right? Because and people like myself, I've been in this business for a couple of years, and my blood has been yellow and black for many years, and it's people like myself that had to really buy into this new change and actually be excited about it. So it's systems that we have to change, because again, we're a global business, so that whole integration of our sister bank in the Philippines together with us was one process that we needed to align on. It's compliance, it's the people. There's a lot of things that allows, I guess, or enables you as a global bank to actually connect a little bit better. So the process has been quite intense, having to align our look and feel from a global perspective, having to align our systems, having to align our people, and actually looking at what would appeal quite well in this market, right? So yes, yellow and black allowed us to tell one story, but this new Tiffany blue app or look and feel is actually allowing us to reintroduce ourselves and be able to kind of manage or change the narrative and the perception that people had about our yellow and black bank.
Try to rebrand a bank is not a straightforward thing as trying to rebrand, say, like an e-commerce startup, because people could wonder, is my money still there? Is this still a TymeBank, right? How did you try to align this brand change with your audience? How did you try to communicate it with your customer base?
Yeah, I think one thing that you've touched on there is, do people, still believe that is my money safe, right? So trust becomes quite a critical part in this rebrand, right? Or in any rebrand. As much as people know you to look and sound a particular way, you're essentially reintroducing yourself and saying, I've had some learnings throughout the years. I now understand you a little bit better. I've now made changes to make your banking experience better, your interaction with the bank better, but also reinforcing that, yes, as much as I'm changing, your money is still safe. So it was quite important for us to make sure that from a communications perspective, we are constantly informing our customers that, yes, your money is safe, the app has changed, how we look has changed, but the service and the the accessibility that we're still giving you to banking remains the same. We're still the same bank that you know and trust. We just elevated our look and feel. We just elevated our technology. We elevated our security so that you can continue to bank seamlessly with us.
You mentioned that it's beyond just changing the color, like changing the brand. There's also a change in the app and other aspects. Can you just touch more on the changes that took place on the app itself and what it means for customers as they continue to use GoTyme?
Yeah, so there's a number of changes that have taken place on the app, and to be honest, most of those changes were affected by our customers, right? So we take pride in making sure that everything that we build, we absolutely put the customer first. So if you open the app, yes, visually it has changed, but little things like making contactless payments, you can turn that on and off. That has been something that our customers have been asking for so long. And one, I guess, cosmetic change is when you open the app, you're now able to, not shout out to the world what your balance is, but you're able to, kind of see it a little bit privately. So we've enabled customers to not see, your balance is not visible to the world unless if you really want to. But ultimately, we've just made certain features within the app a little bit better for our customers because we want them to make a more informed, affordable option, like how we've introduced instant payments. So giving customers the ability to send money instantly to other bank accounts for free. So yes, there's the cosmetic change, but the technology in the background enables us to give our customers a more seamless banking experience, a more secure banking experience, and one that doesn't have to break the bank for them.
In terms of the competitive environment, I mean, over the last few years, I think we have seen a couple of the digital banks come into South Africa. How does this rebrand position you guys as point of authority in light of the competitive environment that's getting tougher and tougher in digital banking in South Africa?
Yeah, I think one thing that stands true for us is how we provide banking is a little bit different, right? So we're not bogged down by, your legacy systems and all of that. So we're actually able to be a little bit more agile in terms of how we provide banking services to our customers. But as a digital bank, I think it allows us to be able to provide customers with a banking experience that is beautiful, that is seamless, one that doesn't necessarily follow the traditional way of banking where you have to stand in a queue, ask for a ticket, speak to a teller. So I think more than anything, at the heart of all of this, we want to give customers an affordable, accessible, but also beautiful banking experience.
Whilst we're still, on that topic of competition, right? I mean, I think you have a unique kind of like, model where like a user can go like into a convenience store and then be able to come out with a bank account, right? So that's, like pretty impressive. Going ahead, is that going to change? Are you going to like explore other ways to allow customers to be able to open accounts?
Partnerships are quite a critical part of how we operate, right? Because that allows us to actually reduce the costs that have to fall on customers, right? So right now customers are paying for the fact that there's ATMs, there's branches, which are things that we don't have because we want to put money back into our customers' pockets. So that whole partnership model is something that won't necessarily change. There are some minor tweaks that customers will see going forward, because I think the important thing is we want to make sure that our accessibility and visibility within the retail environment still remains. So customers will still be able to walk into a retail environment and be able to open an account in under 5 minutes without any paperwork. And if they need assistance, we'll have an ambassador there to help them. But we've rejigged, I guess, the way that we're going to look at our visibility within the retail environment. But our partnerships like your TFG, like your Boxer stores will still remain as part of our operating model.
The TymeBank brand was quite a recognizable brand, and it managed to attain like 12 million customers. So that meant that it was doing quite well, right? In terms of the GoTyme brand, how do you see it? Do you see it kind of being able to match up
I think so. I think so. I mean, if we had to look at the name itself, right? GoTymeBank. It's all about moving forward. It's all about momentum. It's all about progression. And that's what we want our customers to feel when they're interacting with the app, or when they're the way that they're sending money. It's all about, moving forward and actually making the right financial decisions. So we've intentionally looked at how the transition from yellow to black to this Tiffany blue look and feel will allow customers to actually feel a lot less intimidated when engaging with a bank in itself. I think you can agree the banking industry in itself, when you have to interact with a bank, it's always like, oh my God, I'm going to this institution that's probably going to take away my money as I'm interacting with it. Whereas how we've soft our look and feel so that people actually are comfortable to bank with us, I think it's something that will help people feel less intimidated when they have to make financial decisions, whether it's about saving or whether it's about sending money. So we're definitely seeing that this new direction will help us get even more customers.
You stated that, one of the steps in the rebrand process was trying to align in terms of compliance, etc. Can you just share more on that, what you had to align with, in terms of the regulatory environment, etc., and trying to ensure that you comply with what, your license requires in South Africa?
So I think one thing the regulator definitely wants to know is what's going to happen to people's money, right? So I think you've raised it a couple of times in our conversation, that as you are now changing your name, it's important that people still get to experience, banking as they should. And I guess the other important thing is our ownership, right? It's important that people, as much as the name has changed, our ownership within the business remains the same. We are still the same business and the same bank, the same shareholders, the same leadership that people have known about us. So that should they now move to the new app, yes, you're now moving to a different platform, but your money is safe. The business is not going anywhere. We're still having the same foundation that we've always had. We've just elevated our look and feel so that it appeals to our market a lot better.
The next question is around what you already stated in terms of the ownership, etc. The GoTyme brand was initially the brand of the Philippines operations, right? Is there a reason why TymeBank became GoTyme and not the other way around?
Firstly, I guess let me put it this way: the rebrand, in terms of now as being GoTyme, the whole business in itself as a group, everything started here. So the foundation of the business overall started here, right? This is, and now as we transition, the one message that definitely sticks out internally is that we're now taking this business to the world. Right, so it all started here and now it's going to the world. So the change in name is just an alignment from a group perspective to make sure that we look and sound the same. Our systems are integrated seamlessly, but the roots of this business have always remained here.
One thing that people don't realize is that once a rebrand comes out to the public, is a lot of internal work had to be done, right? So how did you sell this idea of a rebrand to your internal stakeholders, team members, etc.? How was that process?
So like I said earlier, we obviously had to get our staff also on this rebrand bandwagon. And, like I said earlier, my heart and blood is yellow and black. But I think we had to look at the bigger picture, right? And we had to look about the opportunities that exist as we grow into this global brand. So right now as a business, we can, say that we have 20 million customers across the world. And I don't think that there's any bank that can confidently say that, right? So for us, it definitely meant global growth. It definitely meant that even for our staff, there's opportunities across different parts of the business, even cross country. but it also just allows us to start coming and showing up as a global business to our customers, right? And saying that here is a global banking experience that we're able to now bring to South Africa as well.
As we wrap up our conversation, right? So it's public news that the company has stated that like it's looking to list, I think, in 2028. How does this rebrand fit into that growth story?
So as a business, like I said, we're constantly growing, and this rebrand is just part of an indication of global ambitions, right? And the 2028 listing, like you said, is part of those global ambitions. And in order for us to do that, we need to come across as one business, one brand in the different markets that will be operating in. So right now, yes, it's the Philippines, yes, it's now South Africa, but there's a whole host of other markets that this brand will potentially operate in the next coming years. And that just shows the direction in which the business and business objectives and business growth objectives are leading us to, so that by the time we get to that listing, we should have a fair enough global representation as a business.
As part of the growth story, are you going to consider to growing like within the continent? I mean, you have grown towards, like Southeast Asia. Like, will this brand come with you guys trying to explore growth in Africa?
So, I mean, we're always looking for opportunities of growth within this continent and outside. And if the right market and the right opportunity arises, then we'll definitely look into it. We're constantly, like I said, looking for opportunities of growth, and that's part of our ambition. And like I said, if the opportunity arises within Africa, absolutely, that would be an opportunity we would look at.
To a customer who's listening to this and, like is a TymeBank customer and, they want to be a part of the growth story and, what's your message to them?
So I'd firstly like to say thank you to all the South Africans that have been part of this 7-year journey with us as TymeBank. And I would encourage them to absolutely switch over to our new app and continue to enjoy, the beautiful basics of banking that we've built within our new app. And I encourage them to, share their feedback with us and tell us what the experience has been like. And I will also say, they need to buckle up because there's a lot more beautiful changes that are about to happen with us and more offerings that will provide them with to enable their everyday banking to be a lot better and a lot more seamless going forward.
I would like to congratulate you. I think you have had this a lot over the last 3 weeks or so, but I would like to congratulate you and the team on the rebrand, and I wish you all the best going forward.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Ephraim.
All right, pleasure.